Howdy ho, Club Shedders. This is Club Shed. We are playing Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. This is part 8. I think it'll be the final part. And welcome to July 5th, everybody. I hope you all had a great July 4th yesterday. And I'm recording this actually on June 1st. That's kind of cool. I feel like we're going to get another fight. My hand's hurting from the controller. But it'll make us do another fight before we can get to it, I guarantee you. Yep.
I'm trying to save you from yourself. You still believe it is a lie. The plague of darkness, the butchering of the animals, men. You saw it yourself.
You told everyone I was cursed. They believed you. I believed you.
Tell me, Senua, where is Ilian's soul if the darkness is a lie? How you save her?
He's here. I know he's here.
Yep, here we go. Oh, so the attacks have been getting easier, which is nice.
I know you're here. Hold on. I'll find you.
What the heck are you? No, that's my job. Whoa, sir. No, up.
Behind you.
What? Oh, come on. Up. Wow, this is unfair. Oh, what? Woo! Oh, come on, up. Oh, jeez.
Damien! Where is he?
That was ridiculously hard.
Again with your lies.
Whew.
I know he's here. You took him from me. You have him.
Oh, he's
done. Dillion is dead. Let him go now. I'm warning you.
Or what? What can you do to me that you haven't already? Fight me! Come on!
You betrayed your own father.
Behind
You betrayed the gods in search of Dillion, in search of love. Look where that's got you. Let go of your battle. Let go of redemption. Let go of Dillion.
Watch out!
Oh, come on!
Don't let your darkness hurt anyone else.
Okay, I gotta keep him.
Surrounded, Senua.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Up, come on.
Be careful, Senua.
This is ridiculous. Yeah, come on.
Careful, Senua.
Oh, come on.
Behind you.
Oh.
You're surrounded, Senua. Behind you. Watch out.
Oh.
Watch out.
Oh, come on. There's too many of these fucking guys. Oh, BS.
Let go of Dillion.
Come
Let go
on.
of your battle. You're going to die. Behind you.
Oh, come on. I guess you have to die? Maybe they just keep coming? You can't block the big swings. I feel like they would have just kept coming. I think they were telling her she had to die. Maybe I was supposed to fight the center one. Come on.
If you're alive, and there's no doubt, then you never took him from me, did you? And I can't save Diane. Is that what you want me to believe? After all you've done to me? And to him? You're not a liar, but you're a liar! You crawled into me to confuse me and deceive me. But I know it. I know you have him. I'll give you my life. It's what you want, isn't it? My soul. Take it. I'll be a slave for you. I'll fight with you at Ragnarok. If you release it. But if you won't, you will have to kill me. Because I've got nothing left. No fear. No hate. No quest. Nothing. You will have no power over me.
my back on death. And all you can see is the shadow that it casts. The longer you hide from it, the longer the shadow grows until all you can see is dark. When that time comes, you must look death in the eye. Embrace it as a friend. And then let go. And emerge from that darkness.
Never forget what it is like to see the world as a child Senua. Every autumn leaf, it's like a work of art. Every rolling cloud a moving picture. Every day, a new story. We too emerge from this nature, like a wave from the ocean, only to return to the sea.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Do not mourn the waves, the leaves, the clouds. Even in darkness, the wonder and the beauty of this world never leaves us. It is always there, waiting to be seen again. This is where my story once began. And so it has to end here. Because I cannot see further than this.
Follow us. We have another story to tell.
My friend, go with her. This now will be your story to witness. Goodbye.
Top of that ship tower.
I know it's hard to tell how mixed up you feel. Hoping
Interesting. So I know there's a second one that was released. Let's see. Senua's... Let's see. the second one that was released.
Feeling as though you never belong. This feeling is not sadness. This feeling is not joy.
I thought there was a second one.
Please don't cry now. Please don't.
There is. Okay.
I want you to stay.
It was
Please don't leave.
May 21st, 2024 it was released. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 was released.
The world is just illusion. Try
I think.
to change you. Being like you are. Well, this is something else. Who would comprehend
Apparently didn't sell well.
that do lay claim divine purpose? Blessed
May play it in the future. The story was okay. For me, it's the same trope of. It feels like the same trope of, oh, don't be afraid of death. I deal with that myself a lot, but it's the same trope all the time. Oh, you know, you can't have love without death. And for me, I've never believed that. I've never believed that you can't have love without death. I think that's a choice as a thinking individual that if you want to love something, you love something, and if it's eternal, it's eternal. That's just not that anything is, because that's just our reality. But I don't just having to let things go. It kind of parallels the, like I was talking about, the Hercules going into the underworld, receiving this, getting the soul back. Except that he actually did it, and this is, you can't change it, let it go. I thought this was an interesting game. The mechanics are okay replay wise. I don't think I got the one for all the runes, but I don't really necessarily want to replay it. Nothing's going to change in the game. It's going to be the same puzzles, same everything. So it's a great, I think for a one-time play, it's an interesting story. The fighting mechanics are okay. They only make it harder by adding more enemies. So it's like, okay, well, I can fight this enemy, then I can fight this enemy, then I can fight this enemy. Now you can fight these 2 enemies, then I can fight these 6 enemies, then you can fight these 10 enemies at the same time. And without the ability to actually move around the board, because you can't ever unlock from an enemy. You always are looking. So I can't look behind me. Like, I can't run and look behind me like you can in other games, and I think that's makes it a little less fun for me gameplay wise. Trying to shift my view and then having people watch behind you, like, that's the mechanic. I understand that, but when you're getting 3 swings on you and then they're like, watch from behind, you can only hit that dodge button so much. And the block button only works for the small enemies. It doesn't work for the big guys, which ultimately stinks. I don't know if I could have gone to the center person and attacked. I don't know if that's a thing. Because I didn't try that. But I think it's interesting. The music is just stopped in the credits. Okay, well, that's another production fault. That's interesting choice to not have anything playing in the background as this plays. I find that a little sad. I mean, if you would like to find out more about psychosis and mental health difficulties, so, you know, this a lot of mental health stuff, voices. I still think it was just an okay game. It's not one I'm going to keep. Now that I've played it, it'll probably be a game that I trade in for credit somewhere or sell. If you guys want I mean, it's just dead silent. There's nothing? Really? Wow. No end credit scene, no nothing. It kind of just leaves it on. Okay, go to the next one. Start new game. Hellblade feature. Oh no, that's the featurette. Yeah, so you literally can only start a new game. So I think the ambiance of the game is really neat. I like Norse mythology, so I love hearing the mythos on it. I don't know if it's all accurate because I'm not that in depth to it, but um, the sword fighting, figuring stuff out, the puzzles were kind of fun. I liked the seeing what's not there and lining stuff up. Uh, I wish there was a little more like change different things. Like maybe that last one instead of seeing the bridge come back together, maybe you had to pull levers. Like run around there and get into places to pull levers. It's really also having enemies just appear at certain locations is gotten predictable. I mean, we ran into spots where like, oh, enemy. Oh, there's gonna be an enemy here. Oh, we're gonna pull a lever, we're gonna come back. Oh, there's an enemy. Fight set up here. I think that makes the game not as fun because it's more predictable. And like I said, if we go through a second playthrough, I'm sure we will. Like if we go into second playthrough, I think it just starts over again. So there's not really worth playing. I thought I went everywhere and found all of the stuff. I may not have gotten all the. And you can't skip. That's the other thing. Now you're playing again, you can't skip. Yeah, you can't skip cutscenes. So what's the point? What's the point of playing it again? Except you're just gonna, if you're just playing like this is. I understand why you can't skip cutscenes. It's because the game is 50, 60%, probably I would say even 75% story and 25% actual gameplay. The rest of it's just walking around. Let's see what the featurette was. We didn't watch this. We'll just go through. I think it's just.
Stormy seas and lost souls.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be.
She's dreamt of this before. They say dreams are visions of our memories, thoughts, and fears. As seen by
Yeah,
her in
I think them just going through. I think them just going through
What if each one of us is
the game one time is pleasurable. If you watch this all the way through, you're not gonna miss much to play it yourself, unfortunately, because you just heard the whole story. Maybe if I missed some runes, you might find other runes.
World shaped by Senua's nightmares.
And then
Maybe that's why people fear seeing the world through her eyes.
and then we it's just running around and doing all that stuff again. I think that once again the fights are harder because you can't maneuver
Might be too.
better. The dodge, I don't like that. I can be mid frame and then get hit as I'm trying to smack the button to dodge because
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a video game about Senua, a Celtic warrior on a vision quest into Viking territory. But what sets our hero Senua apart is that she suffers from severe psychotic mental illness.
and I'm really wondering like this severe psychotic mental illness.
The original idea for Hellblade was to create a classic hero's journey, a journey of suffering, but one where the fantasy world is not another planet's alternate universe, but a world that is constructed in Senua's mind. But to do so would mean putting psychotic mental illness at the center of the experience, a subject that is still considered taboo, and a challenge that was both terrifying and exciting in equal measure. In Hellblade, the starting point was a newly discovered Celtic goddess called Senua in Ashwell, Hertfordshire.
Oh.
When first discovered, her name was thought to be Senua, a name which I liked and kept. I wondered if Senua might have been a Celtic warrior like Boudica who stood up to the Romans. While the Romans had conquered all of Europe, there was a group of Celts up in the furthest reaches of the Roman Empire that could not be conquered, the Picts. And so the Romans built a wall, called Hadrian's Wall, that spans across Britain from sea to sea to keep the Pictish barbarians at bay. The Picts were known for their war paint, painted on with woad, and their matted hair clumped with lime. and so Senua would be a barbarian Pict in this image.
What's your name?
Senua,
I haven't seen you before.
I don't know how much.
Oh, Zenua's daughter.
I have to go.
Wait.
Orkney is off the coast of Scotland and was inhabited by the Picts, steeped in history and mystery, and so I made Orkney Senua's home and set the stage for a crisis. In the late 8th century, the first Vikings landed on the Orkney Islands. The population of the Picts crashed thereafter, replaced by the Norsemen of the 9th century. Were they wiped out? We don't know for sure, but it would seem likely given the reputation of the Vikings. The Northmen's brutality is legendary. High-ranking leaders and chieftains of the tribes they conquered were often offered as sacrifice to their gods. The most brutal of these sacrifices was known as the Blood Eagle. I imagine Senua as a young female warrior who returns home from exile to find her partner, Dillion, brutally sacrificed to a Norse god by these hellish warriors from a faraway land. I imagine the horror of this moment and how it would have dragged her deep into mental torment.
So that's interesting. I do like some of the background of this, knowing that she's a newly discovered goddess, so a Norse goddess. That's her journey, maybe. Like,
I came to learn that the Celts had a sophisticated and nuanced perspective on the nature of mental disorder. One term they used was Gelt. A Gelt is a man or woman who has been driven mad by a curse, battle trauma, or grief. The Gelt would take to a life in the woods in search of penance, punishment, and purgation. And so Senua became a Gelt, cursed by darkness, looking for redemption in the wilds. Another word the Celts used in reference to mental disorders was truth, meaning fool, or one who utters the words of God. They tell of the mad sinner who flees battle into exile and takes on a beastly nature, growing feathers on his body. The character called Truth in Hellblade is based on a little-known person called Findan, an 8th century Irish Celt who was captured and enslaved by the Vikings, but eventually escaped to Orkney where he became a monk.
I will tell you my stories of hell, if I may walk with you.
Upon meeting Senua, it would be his stories that fuel her quest deep into their world of gods.
The Northmen say the world will come to an end.
oh, that's interesting.
The sun will grow black, the earth
I do like
will
that
sink into the sea,
view
stars will disappear,
of the real life person.
water will meet, flames will play against the sky, the heavens and earth and all the world will be burned, all the gods will be dead, and the warriors of Valhalla and people everywhere. Senua, prepare yourself for Ragnarok, for it is nigh.
So the stage was set for a new adventure, a journey into the Norse underworld called Hell, a vision quest fueled by madness and myth, a fantasy that was created by Senua's own mind, and one that we would experience through her eyes.
This is your mission. This is your quest. There is nothing else left.
To make a game about a warrior with psychotic mental illness as its central theme was fraught with danger. Mental illness, such as psychosis, is still taboo and rarely acknowledged in a century of cinema, never mind the new medium of games. Where it does feature, it often conflates psychosis and psychopathy associated with a lack of empathy. It is unfortunate that these two words sound so similar that they are used interchangeably in media. I must admit that I didn't have to look very far to discover my own ignorance of the subject. So we reached out to Paul Fletcher, psychiatrist and professor of health neuroscience at University of Cambridge.
Psychosis is a descriptive term, and it refers to having a loss of contact with objective reality. So it's characterized by two main sets of symptoms. One of them is hallucinations, where somebody experiences perceptions when there is no actual objective thing out there to perceive.
You're already dead. Who are you?
And the other is delusions, where somebody comes to very often bizarre, unpleasant, frightening beliefs when there's no good evidence in favor of them.
There's no doubt about it.
The source of the darkness is in Helheim, and the goddess Hela holds his soul there.
We reached out to Welcome, a biomedical research charity that spends billions on research and awareness programs aimed at improving health.
Mental health hasn't always been presented in the media in a way that is particularly helpful. It can be challenging to engage people with the subject matter, and there are a lot of preconceived ideas about mental health, and particularly schizophrenia and psychosis. So we hope our support allows the team to continue to collaborate with Paul Fletcher and with those who have experience of psychosis to create a game that provides a fresh perspective on the condition and allows audiences to engage with it in a way that just wouldn't be possible in any other medium.
What started out as a brief consultation convinced me that we were only scratching the surface of an immensely deep and interesting subject that could enrich and change the very nature of the game.
That's cool, thanks so much.
Pleasure, thanks. It's really interesting for me, and I'd love to be involved. I think it's fascinating.
Our understanding of psychosis is still very much a mystery, and ways of treating it are still primitive compared to physical illness. After all, it is easy to see the pain and suffering caused by physical diseases or physical trauma. It is not so easy to see the mental suffering and trauma of severe mental illness. But what if we could find a way to see it? Games are capable of drawing you in for hours on end, playing the role of a character who is different from you, experiencing their perspective, and actively involving you in a world that functions with a different set of rules. If we were to represent Senua psychosis, we would have to simulate voice hearing, a common attribute. But how can we simulate something we have no first-hand experience of? Professor Charles Fernyhough, a leading expert in voice hearing
have to
from
probably
Durham
blur that.
University, offered his help.
Hearing voices is an experience that is usually associated with severe mental illness, and crucially we know that hearing voices is a part of ordinary life for many people who don't meet the criteria for mental illness.
Yeah. Oh, that's not him in real life.
We know voices vary according to where they appear in space. Voices can appear far away in the distance, they can appear right there in your ear, they can seem to be coming from inside your head.
Based on the information Professor Fernyhough provided, I put together a sound brief and invited some actors to the studio. We recorded the actors using a binaural microphone, which records the 3D spatial position of sound, replicating the way sound is heard by human ears. It gives you an incredible sense that the person you are listening to is right there beside you.
Can't see where she's going.
Rachel Waddingham from the Voice Collective came to our studio with 2 young voice hearers to speak to our team. We talked at length about their experiences, and they listened to our tests, giving us feedback on how we could improve on it.
Everyone hates her. She's cursed.
It's very hard to represent what this experience is like, partly because it's such a personal, intense, emotional experience. It's testament to how Ninja Theory have been listening to what the researchers are saying, but also crucially listening to the experts by experience. What they've come up with is so compelling. It's by far the best representation I've heard of what these experiences are like.
Other common attributes of psychosis are visions and flashbacks. We met with Recovery College East, who work with and care for people recovering from severe mental disorders. A group of service users gave us their first-hand account of what they experience.
Sometimes when the vision or what we're seeing is too much, it becomes more different until eventually we perhaps don't see anything.
The people we spoke to, the stories they told, were fascinating, harrowing and mind-boggling. The reality of what people experienced was vivid, far exceeding what I could possibly have imagined. We went away itching to represent some of these visions and flashbacks in the game.
As we all know, my heart is so lovely, so far away. Don't you know?
So that's interesting. I mean, we got to see some background, which is kind of neat. And cool that we got to kind of see this. Now the puzzles make more sense. Things are in pieces, and you have to try to put them back together. So like the bridges weren't actually broken; they were, in her mind, that was. So she had to. Just too much stimulation. She had to put it back together.
eyes will know my heart is so, love is so far away. Don't you know how I wanna feel deeper?
Okay, that's interesting.
I could never know how you grow, all these days are killing you.
Melting of the walls. Well, there's the waviness.
I just wanna live, that's all. I just wanna feel deeper, deeper. I just wanna feel deeper, deeper.
To refine our work, we continue to hold meetings with Recovery College East over the course of a year and a half, showing them what we had achieved so far and refining the in-game representations based on their feedback.
I like that
With
feedback.
their help, flashbacks, visions and changes in perception were woven into the story and gameplay of Senua.
The students that are involved in this project are incredibly excited about being involved. They have described the experience as being important because it values their lived experience and shows that despite what we have been through, all of that experience becomes valid, that actually it's something that we should all be talking about.
The experiences described range from beautiful to frightening beyond comprehension. I heard of a girl who has to live with an angry voice screaming at her, slamming on her doors and walls 24 hours a day. I met someone who would often see hanging corpses in the room, so real that she would sometimes try to rescue them. The panic and fear that comes with such visions is entirely understandable, and it can be a living horror for some.
Worthless, weak, pathetic. Go on, feel sorry for yourself, because there's no one left to do that for you.
I was urged by one fellow that we should not shy away from showing this horror, and so I was perpetually torn in making Hellblade. Had we gone too far with our representations or not far enough?
Broken and lost. Just like your soul.
In some ways, voice hearing and visions were the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. There's another aspect of psychosis that is much harder to explain, but one that I think video games are uniquely able to represent, which are often called delusions.
People begin to see patterns in the world. They begin to link things that most people wouldn't link. Most of the things that we might think would be coincidence or, not worth commenting on. Nevertheless, that might have a particular salience or importance to them.
One individual described how everyday words, sounds, colours and objects were steeped in meaning to him, forming a strange and sinister puzzle that he was determined to solve but could not quite get to the bottom of.
It's not just brain dysfunction. It's not like the system shut down. It's actually an incredibly creative process. The person creates a world populated with voices and phantasms and terrors, and they're completely immersed in it. They believe in it.
We often invite people into the studio to play the game. In one of our playtests, they played through much of the game, making associations between runes, secret messages, and the threat of darkness that stalked them. There are many things that happen in the world of Hellblade that make perfect sense within the context of Senua's mind. The dark rot that's killing her slowly from within, the secret runes of the gods that block her path to Helheim, and strange associations that exist in the game to confuse you. To complete Senua's quest, you have to internalize and accept the logic and meaning behind these things to progress. Afterwards they said that they didn't see much evidence of mental illness in the game. People with delusions of all sorts would argue the same thing, that they are not aware of their experience being abnormal in any way.
It's important.
Representing perception changes and thinking patterns within Hellblade gives us a set of symptoms common in psychosis. But people with lived experience were keen to emphasize another point, that it is wrong to define a person by their symptoms. Quite often, the illness comes not from the symptoms, but from the stigma, isolation and mistreatment that comes about from the rest of society.
Is there overgrowth?
I
What if they're right?
I think the story's interesting, don't get me wrong, but I think
need someone to portray Senua, someone who could believably internalize her suffering.
might end watching this, but we'll see. We've already gotten this far.
Melina Jurgens, our video editor, had been a stand-in for Senua over a few months while we perfected our motion capture techniques. Without realizing it, she had already auditioned for the role, and I knew her well enough to know that I didn't have to teach her to act, but to relive her own internal pain. As often is the case, those who have suffered mental anguish are never far from us. My hope is that by creating a compelling and aspirational character in Senua who feels very much real, albeit in a fantasy setting, we can provide a lens into her reality, a different one to yours, and this is where storytelling comes into play. I imagined her life based on common threads in real people's lives. She was always prone to psychosis as a child. Her mother Galina also heard voices and had visions, so perhaps there was a genetic aspect. Or perhaps it was cultural, as she lived within a world without science, of gods and a superstition, as exemplified by her druid father Zimbo. Psychosis developed in her late teens to early 20s and was exacerbated by stigma and isolation at the hands of the clansmen and her father.
It's spreading.
The trauma of seeing her lover Dillion sacrificed tips her over the edge, making her remodel her reality around the concept that connects everything, the darkness. So the question is, what Senua experience is real? And only be answered by saying, yes, it is real. It is her reality.
Mm-hmm.
All of her suffering will have been for nothing. It's just a matter of time.
So is any of the... I guess that's the question, is any of this real then? Or is she just stuck in a hole
Towards
somewhere?
the end of the project, service users and professionals that had collaborated with us were invited to see the near-final game. It was a chance to see if the game had reflected their views or if it had misrepresented them.
For me, being involved in especially developing Senua's character has been really important, and being able to bring in my perspective and what I see and what I hear, and having that built into the game has been a real privilege. It's gritty and it's meaty, and there are some tough subjects in there that are being tackled with honesty.
I mean, the art's beautiful. It really is.
I was blown away by it today, absolutely blown away. It was just fantastic to get the opportunity to use our lived experience in a very creative way. There's nothing tokenistic about the work we've put in. It feels like we've been listened to, things have been taken on board, and I think there was a lot of realism in the game itself, and it feels very authentic.
Hellblade will give people a good experience of what it's like to hear voices and have those experiences. I'm glad that the guys at Ninja Theory kind of asked us to come along and help them build an experience that's positive when it comes out, and get myself a copy and have a go.
That's probably my favorite boss, truthfully, is that one.
All the way through, I was really inspired by how the conversations have translated into the game in a way that I think I didn't imagine was possible. So wonderful, really wonderful.
I really hope that others will follow the lead they've set and use the power of something like a video game to change people's perceptions, to increase understanding, and ultimately to make some of the stigma around voice hearing and other experiences go away.
For me, it was really exciting to see something that I explore scientifically being represented so beautifully in a character who's trying to penetrate the mysteries of the environment in which they've been placed, with all of this strange uncertainty and noise and conflicting information that they're getting. I'm very excited by this way of trying to represent mental illness, because I think it actually might be offering us insights that we wouldn't get from pure scientific explorations, and actually giving us quite an empathic view of what it might be like.
Mental illness has been with us for as long as we have been on this planet, but why? Why hasn't evolution stamped out this weakness from within our gene pool? I often pondered this question until I realized that the question had an inbuilt flaw. It assumes that being and thinking differently is a weakness. The only reason we have computers, spacecraft, medicine, poetry, art, and yes, even video games is because individuals are able to simulate new abstract realities in their minds and share them with the rest of us. We need people to be willing to see differently in order for us to progress and survive as society. And we need to be open to these new ways of seeing. And it is this spirit that motivated me to create Senua's story and share it with you.
If you are interested, I would say visit that. I bet there'll be a lot of great info on there. So yeah, that was the little feature. I think knowing a little bit more about that, a lot of the more stuff makes sense inside the game. I like the game's story. So let's get this finally out. I like the game's story. I like the game's graphics. It was beautifully done. I like the environments. The gameplay for me was kind of subpar. The boss fight that I liked the most was, of course, the crow. But I think overall it's the same rinse and repeats feeling for me. And I say that when I've played, you know, Resident Evils, and it's the same stop shoot, but there's just something different in the. It feels like block dodge move, block dodge move. Yeah, I guess that's every game. I guess I had to go back to say it's just a feeling. It's a feeling that the gameplay is not making me want to play it again. The fact that there's not something different. So it's a great one-time play. It's not worth, like, I don't want to say it's worth it to whatever you want to pay for it. I probably wouldn't. I got this for free. Probably wouldn't have paid more than 15-20 bucks for it if I was buying it new, used, for the first time ever playing it, or even 15 to 10 from somebody else. For me, it's not like a Resident Evil game that I know is going to be amazing. But it's always hard to tell with games. Like, if you know nothing about this, do you buy it brand new when it comes out? There's a bunch of hype around it. It looks good. There's a lot of effort put into it. I think the acting is amazing. I like the real-world acting versus the character acting inside the game. Drune was his name? I think that was an amazing character. I loved that character. Trying to think of what else would just be really good on it. I would have liked to have seen more of a variety of demons in your, like, I guess they did. They had the regular horned guys that kind of look like Wendigos. They had the warriors with shields, the warriors without shields. They had the guy with the double axes. They had the guys with the big axes. I think that's it. I think there's 5 different types of enemies, plus the 3 major boss enemies per se. Yeah, I think that's a good variety of characters. I think, okay, let me rephrase. Not that's making me think about the gameplay. So what I didn't like about the gameplay is that it locks you in. I have a dodge, but I can't dodge away and look behind me. Like, I can't run and look behind me. But I guess overall, good game. Replayable for me? No, I won't replay this game. You've basically seen everything the game has to offer except for maybe a couple runes. I didn't see a trophy. I know you're supposed to get a trophy for finding all the runes. But other than that, I have to go back and look at what trophies were missing. If you want to hear the story full out for yourself, I would recommend supporting it. The cause, because I think it is a good cause to look into. I think there's more stuff that can be done and learned in the future by doing games like this. I think that stepping up the gameplay ability and adding some things to get people back into playing the game over and over again would be beneficial. But overall, I had fun, and it's not a long game. This was 8 hours. It could be a lot faster for those playing it. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the game, and I would really like to know that, about your thoughts on it. So, have a great Saturday, have a great July 5th, and remember, in this instance, keep your runes safe.